Experience the new Samsung OLED TV with up to 15% back in gift cards when you buy with any Samsung soundbar. The new Samsung TV range, now at Harvey Norman.
Shopping online comes with digital threats, so turn on NordVPN. Steer clear of phishing websites and encrypt your online traffic. Get the deal now.
Sweet shoes. Want 'em? Try the Google app for iPhone. Tap this, snap that. What a vibe. Can't name that song? Tap this, hum that. Right. Wait. Tap this, hover over that. And now you know. Find it, hum it, translate it. More ways to search. Download the Google app for iPhone.
I love a sunburnt country. A land of sweeping plains. Ranges of drought and flooding rains. When the lucky country isn't so lucky.
Lucky you're with Amy.
G'day, Paul Turner here from Woolworths. Crunchy new season jazz apples have arrived, and thanks to ideal growing conditions, there's plenty here. Broccolini is abundant and great quality, while sweet and juicy Solinado tomatoes are back to normal supply following recent growing issues. Some growing challenges for continental parsley have led to minor markings on the leaves. However, they do not affect the flavour or quality. That's this week's Fresh Market Update. I'll get it.
Now, I've heard everything.
Tell us about your lifestyle and we'll customise a solution to meet your needs. Book a free hearing check today. Call 13MyEars today.
Take a look inside Haagen-Dazs, made en France, where only the best will do. Combining rich cream, luscious buttery caramel with crunchy brittle pieces. Et voila, the ice cream of ice creams.
My thing is finding my favourite brands for less. It's a pre-love thing. It's a selling thing, so I can buy my next thing. It's a thing I never thought I would find thing.
Sweet shoes. Want 'em? Try the Google app for iPhone. Tap this, snap that. What a vibe. Can't name that song? Tap this, hum that. Right. Wait. Tap this, hover over that. And now you know. Find it, hum it, translate it. More ways to search. Download the Google app for iPhone.
2 all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
The Big Mac is the original mouthful. A one-of-a-kind flavour that now comes in 3 sizes.
The price of a single right now at 40 Winks. Plus, earn double Qantas points. Hurry, limited time only. Exclusions and T's and C's apply.
It's hard to tell pain, but I didn't want to do things. You know, when you've got 3 kids, you want to get out and about all the time. So having no pain, that's vital. For me, the Good Feet store made a big difference.
See for yourself with a free personalised arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
We want to give our customers all the information so they can make the best decision. We'd like to think that everybody leaves happy.
Tiles for your walls, tiles for your floor, save more at Tile Warehouse.
Welcome back everybody to Tipping Point. Ned's our winner. Ned, you got 3,200 sitting in the bank.
At Woolworths, we can help you spend less on family dinners. With great weekly specials like marinated kebab varieties with RSPCA approved chicken, now $1 each, save 40 cents. That's today's fresh food people.
All right, Ned, we've got a chance here. 3 counters. And let's not forget, hidden to the right of the jackpot counter is the double. A double. Let's play Jackpot Temptation. Sure. You could walk away with $5,600, which at the end of the day, that's a very good tally. But $20,000 is right there. It is literally one push away. How many counters do you think you would need to get that over?
How many are you willing to give me, Todd?
I'll give you 2 and make the jackpot counter worth $40,000. And if it comes over with the double, that's 80.
What if there are 3, Todd? You have something for 3.
Yeah, I'll give you 3 for 20. And a holiday to the Maldives for 2, valued at $7,000, thanks to Luxury Escapes, the world's best holidays. Plus, you obviously get 2 return airfares.
That'd be nice. What do you reckon?
I'll go to the Maldives.
You are tempting me, but I'm leaning more towards the cash at this point, I think.
You wanted 3, and now I gave it to you.
I know, I just wanted to know what you're offering, to be honest.
I'm going to give you one last offer. 4 for a flat 20. There's 3 fantastic offers on the table.
There is.
There's 2 for 40.
Yep.
3 for 20 in the holiday to the Maldives, valued at $7,000, return airfares, thanks to Luxury Escapes, and then there is 4 for $20,000. That's what we originally started playing for today. I've given you a very good offer to walk away with $20,000. But you lose $5,600.
Yeah.
Play. Pick one of them.
You reckon?
You want to walk over with that?
You got me. Let's drop 4.
Good on you, Ned. Took a bit of Tully's might to make you stand up. Let's listen to this.
That's tough, Todd. That's real.
And before we put the first counter into the machine, you got 4 of them to walk away with $20,000. We're going to the newsroom.
Even a luxurious bed. So why buy ordinary furniture when you can come home to King? Hurry, sale ends soon.
Outside Westfield. Supermarkets under fire at a Senate inquiry in Canberra, and Paris-bound Central Coast high jumper Nicola Oleschlager's off to the Olympics.
Okay, Ned, before we went to the newsroom, you decided. Nudge him. The nudge has got their double just floating there.
Yeah.
If you've got one left and it all came over, it could still come together and be worth $40,000. 2 chances left. Light her up again. Come on. Come on. Hey, give us a left.
Behind. Good spot.
Come on.
Oh, get it off. Come on.
Let's do it. He might get a double.
Come on.
Go, 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 go.
Oh, get it off. Come on.
Let's do it. He might get a double.
Come on.
Go, 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 go. It's 1/3 of the way over the tipping point, and it's sitting dead set in the middle of the machine, in between drop zone 2 and drop zone 3. How do you want to play it?
I think the top shelf of 2 looks a little bit more full. So we'll just hope for 2 and then
hope it drops this way.
Yeah, we'll cross fingers and go for 2, please.
This is a new one for us, sitting there with having to change zones. It is the final counter.
All right.
If it gets to the right side, Ned, lateral push, you're going home with $20,000. Light up, drop zone 2. Come on.
Come on. Right. Go right.
Push laterally, push laterally. Come on, come on, come on, come on, get over. the chance of going over the tipping point. A lateral push from the far side of drop zone 2. And have a look up there, Ned. You've won yourself $20,000. Congratulations! You made him do it, Tully. Well done to you. Thanks for playing, Dad. Good on you, mate. Thanks for watching at home, and join us next time when 3 new contestants push their luck to the very edge of the tipping point.
She speak publicly, revealing his fixation with knives and why he may have targeted women.
A university student's final phone call before she was killed in the attack.
Bruce Lerman loses his defamation case with a judge finding he raped Brittany Higgins.
Just walk away. The US president scrambles to avoid a full-scale war in the Middle East.
And in sport, a setback for Nathan Cleary and the NRL premiers.
This is NBN News with Gavin Morris and Natasha Beyersdorf.
Good evening. Police say they're investigating whether Bondi Junction killer Joel Cauchi deliberately targeted women. And today, his father revealed why that may have been the case.
Cauchi's parents speaking publicly for the first time about his obsession with knives and his desperation for a girlfriend.
Outside his Toowoomba home, his shattered heart on his sleeve.
How do you love a monster? Give birth to him.
Andrew Cauchi unapologetic for his unconditional love for his son Joel.
And I'm loving a monster. To you, he's a monster. To me, he was a very sick boy. Believe me, he was a very sick boy.
Left asking the same question that's being echoed across the nation.
And I want to find out what's wrong. I don't know what's wrong, why he would do this.
This is a parent's absolute nightmare when they have a child with mental illness, that something like this would happen.
But there were warning signs Joel had a fixation with knives.
I took 5 US Army combat knives off him when I brought him up from Brisbane. He called the police, you see, and accused me of stealing his knives.
On Saturday, he armed himself with a 30-centimetre hunting knife, taking the lives of 6 innocent people inside Bondi Junction, Westfield. Ashley Good, Dawn Singleton, Pikria Dachia, Jade Young, Ishwan Cheng and Faraz Tahir. Today, a chilling revelation on why most of his victims were women.
He wanted a girlfriend and he's got no social skills. And he was frustrated out of his brain.
Joel was diagnosed with schizophrenia at 17. His mental health flipping rough before returning for his car over Christmas.
I did everything in my power to help him. He went off medication with his doctor's approval, but then he took off to Brisbane.
Moving around southeast Queensland and back and forth from Sydney, where he was renting a storage unit in Waterloo. This is where a woman says she was followed and confronted by Cauchi just less than 2 weeks ago.
I had a box cutter, to open my boxes. I thought I should probably just reach for it. I turned around and there was a man inside my storage unit coming towards me. He was halfway in, he was coming at me quite fast, and I just put my hands up, yelled at him.
How did you feel when you saw that man's image on the news at the centre of that stabbing attack on Saturday?
It was the later, clearer images and then the information that it was the same storage facility that left me radically unsettled and grateful that I'm okay.
She reported the incident to police, but no official complaint was taken because she wasn't injured. The Premier has announced $18 million to open an immediate and thorough coronial inquest into Saturday's stabbings. Part of this will zero in on Joel Cauchi's interactions with police and health services, both here and in Queensland.
He came in contact with New South Wales Health the back end.
Contacted police, including the Commissioner, who confirmed Dawn Singleton shopping for makeup. The 27-year-old was on a shopping spree, messaging her fiancé in China, and then the text stopped. The stories of courage on that day continue to the other. Her name was Jennifer.
I was holding her hand, just telling her that, everyone's trying to help you. Said, my name's Scott. I'm not gonna let you go. Like, I'm gonna be here with you.
The movements of the killer continue to be pieced together, but we know he first entered Westfield at around 3:20 on level 3 near the Lego store. It was on level 4 where he killed the majority of his victims, including Jade Young, attacked near R.M. Williams, mother Ashley Good stabbed near Cotton On while protecting her baby. Another 2 victims died at Chanel. Cauchi is then blocked on the escalator by the man with the bollard. But somehow he makes his way to level 5. It's where he's shot dead by the police inspector. His 25-minute rampage is over. The police may have finished their work here, and Westfield Bondi Junction is no longer a crime scene. And pay their respect.
This is very raw, it's very early days, and we are all trying to comprehend what has happened.
And news.
Let's go now to reporter Alex Heinke, who's at the Rocks for us in Sydney. Alex, good evening. There's a tribute on the sales of the Opera House tonight.
Yeah, that's it, Gav. It's a simple yet significant gesture. Let me just step aside. We'll show it to you right now. You can see just there, that black ribbon being projected onto the white sails of the Opera House. It's a show of respect, and it's a sign of solidarity as well, Gav, not only for the victims, solidarity as well, Gav, not only for the victims, but for their friends and family as well.
Thank you, Alex. To other news now, and former Liberal staffer Bruce Lerman raped Brittany Higgins inside Parliament House, according to a federal court judge.
Lerman took on Network 10 and Lisa Wilkinson in a defamation case. And today, in a legal own goal, he lost.
Bruce Lerman, the man who went to court to clear his name,
What's your reputation now, Mr. Lerman?
but walked out. What a jury failed to.
Mr. Lerman raped Miss Higgins. Mr. Lerman is not entitled to the vindication of his reputation.
Today, the federal court has found that I published a true story about
It was 2021 when Brittany Higgins became a household name in a bombshell interview with Lisa Wilkinson on The Project.
Tonight, claims of rape, roadblocks to a police investigation, and a young woman forced to choose between her career and the pursuit of justice.
But this story had started 2 years earlier when Brittany and Bruce were working for Minister Linda Reynolds. A boozy night out in Canberra, a colleague spotting the pair passionately kiss before they ended up at Parliament House in the early hours of the morning.
Oh, hi mate. Bruce Larriman here with Minister Linda Reynolds. We've been requested to pick up some documents.
Two drunk political staffers walk into the ministerial suite. 40 minutes pass and only one walks out. Higgins found by security next to naked on her boss's couch. She went public with the allegations before finalising a police complaint, becoming the face of Australia's Me Too movement. Lisa Wilkinson crusading the cause and earning herself a coveted Logie.
Thank you so much for this incredible honour.
It was an ill-advised acceptance speech that would temporarily derail Larriman's criminal trial in Canberra. Only there was never an answer. Aborted due to juror misconduct, a second trial abandoned over concerns for Ms Higgins' mental health. Larriman breaking his silence and a paid interview with 7 News Spotlight.
Let's light some fires.
Sparking a defamation war against Network 10. Brittany Higgins willingly returning to the witness box, claiming she couldn't let her attacker become a millionaire. Her claims of a political cover-up were outright rejected.
It would be fair to describe her as a complex and in several respects unsatisfactory witness.
But Larriman was found to be a liar. Claims he was preparing question time notes that night thrown out.
One dominant thought running through the mind of Mr Learman as he was approaching Parliament House, and it had nothing to do with
its case saved only by the star of the show.
Channel 10 couldn't have defended this case without Brittany.
3 years on from when the story first broke, and this case has taken on a life of its own. One of the most highly publicised rape and now defamation trials in Australian history, with more than 50,000 people tuning in to today's broadcast of the judgment on YouTube. Bruce Larriman now joins Ben Roberts-Smith in devastating about him.
I feel glad for the women in Australia today.
Tiffany Genders, NBN News.
Next, all eyes on Israel following the attack by Iran as Joe Biden warns against war.
A World War II mortar shell sparks an emergency in suburban Newcastle.
And a driver survives a high-speed crash landing.
Oh, geez. Who are you? I'm future Paula, and we've got a problem. Your 4 p.m.'s going to run over because Jane will be late. There's road work on Harris Street. You've got Pilates on Wednesday, and you're going to have to stop for school drop-off because her Wi-Fi isn't working. Trust me.
Landlord insurance.
We wouldn't rent our property without it.
Holiday rental insurance for just $1.50 or less per day. Get a quote, call Terry Shear or go online.
Are you thinking al fresco and looking for something simple? Call HV Aluminium.
Are you looking for something stylish? Call HV Aluminium.
Or are looking for ideas to design something stunning?
If you're thinking al fresco, call or visit HV Aluminium New Lambton, 1800 801 572.
You can't escape it. You're faced with choices every single day. But whatever choice you face, we're here to help. Hunter Primary Care.
If you're surrounded by stuff and you've had enough, you need
need Electro-Dry Mini Storage. We'll beat any cheaper price by 20%. Compare at electrodrystorage.com.au. Electro-Dry Mini Storage. Electro-Dry Mini Storage.
Harvey Norman floors are the floors Aussie homes are built on. Family life can be tough on floors, with heels, toddlers, skates, pets, spaghetti, toys, even bikes. We've got you covered at Harvey Norman, with deals on our entire range of hard flooring from the world's best brands, like versatile, durable hybrid flooring from just $35 per square metre.
We've got your carpet and flooring covered at Harvey Norman. Go!
The Middle East is on edge tonight, waiting for the next move after Iran's direct attack on Israel. Tehran launched more than 300 missiles and drones, but most of them were intercepted. The US president has told Benjamin Netanyahu he should take that as a win and walk away.
The Revolutionary Guard gave the order. And at blastoff, Iranians celebrated in the streets. But ultimately, Tehran's weaponry failed to pack a punch.
We intercepted 99% of the threats towards Israel.
The 1% causing minor damage at the Nevatim airbase. US officials expected a dozen ballistic missiles. Instead, they witnessed 10 times that, as well as 170 kamikaze drones. But they were tracked from launch to interception, countered by a coalition, including the US, the UK, and the French.
This was an incredible success, really proving Israel's military superiority and, just as critically, their diplomatic superiority.
President Biden congratulated members of US fighter squadrons for their airmanship.
Hey, you guys are the best in the whole damn world, man.
Behind the scenes, he's trying to avoid a full-scale war, assembling a virtual meeting with G7 leaders to condemn Iran.
We expressed our solidarity and support to the people of Israel and reaffirmed our unshakable commitment towards its security.
It's not my call to second-guess the
Towards its security.
It's not my call to second-guess the president.
And walk away with nothing of value hit, warning the US would not engage in any offensive operation against Iran. The Israeli Prime Minister spent 5 hours huddled with his war cabinet, but no decision made over the next move. For now, the US president has put aside his rift with Benjamin Netanyahu to stand with his ally, but White House officials are increasingly concerned that America is being dragged into a wider regional conflict. Late today, the UN Security Council convened an emergency session.
This attack crossed every red line, and Israel reserves the legal right to retaliate.
Both sides accused each other of being a threat to peace and resulted in no action.
Iran will use its inherent right to respond proportionately. I thank you.
In the United States, Alison Petrowski, NBN News.
A much-loved family home has been destroyed by fire at Greta in the Hunter Valley. Emergency services were called to the single-storey house in the Barracks Close just before 2 p.m. RFS and fire and rescue crews extinguished the intense blaze and all occupants were accounted for. 60% of the house was gutted, the rest damaged by heat and smoke.
Some residents in the Newcastle suburb of Dudley were forced to evacuate this morning as emergency services were brought in to remove a World War II mortar shell from a home. Firefighters, police and RAF explosives experts were called to the scene just after 10:30. The shell, a family heirloom, was safely disposed of and no one was injured. The Roads Minister says she'll investigate a mobile speed camera site at Coorambong after a car struck a parked camera vehicle there with fatal consequences. The crash coming as the government looks to add 500 more of the sites across the Hunter.
They're already a common sight on our roads. Now the Men's government says we can expect to see mobile speed cameras at 500 extra locations across the Hunter.
There is currently a tender going out for more locations.
but an existing one is being examined after a fatal crash at Kurrambong yesterday. An 18-year-old passenger in a Subaru died on Freeman's Drive just after midnight after it hit a parked speed camera car. The Subaru's 17-year-old driver was rushed to John Hunter Hospital. The exact cause of the crash is still being investigated and tonight remains unclear.
Of course, there will be a discussion about whether that is an appropriate location and any learnings will be taken from it.
It's not the first time a parked speed camera vehicle has been hit. In 2022, a Holden Commodore slammed into a stationary Toyota Kluger in Sydney. Risk assessments for the new mobile speed camera sites being considered will soon get underway. Members of the public can also nominate a speeding hotspot they believe needs a camera via the Service New South Wales website.
The message to everyone here is slow down, take really good care to be aware of your surroundings.
Risa Utama, NBN News.
The Kurrambong Public School community is reeling after the canteen was trashed by vandals. Food was left strewn across the floor and appliances destroyed, with the damage expected to cost thousands to repair. Doors and windows were also targeted. The school's P&C has called for donations through a GoFundMe page.
Construction on the new Melville Ford Bridge at Maitland will get underway later this year and is set to be completed by the end of 2025. The current single-lane timber bridge will be torn down to make way for a two-lane concrete replacement. The project is designed to improve traffic flow and safety, but drivers will have to find an alternate route during the construction period.
It is difficult, and obviously the Belmore Bridge is a key feature, but obviously the Glastonbury Bridge is an option as well.
The new Melville Ford Bridge will also be at least 2 metres higher to reduce the risk of it going underwater during flooding.
Visitors to Little Beach at Nelson Bay now have to pay for parking. Port Stephens Council's smart meters were switched on today. They're intended to increase turnover of spaces, particularly over summer. Local ratepayers and staff at CBD businesses can sign up to park for free via the council's website. Council says all revenue raised from the parking fees will be reinvested in local projects.
Newcastle's first 5-star hotel opened in 2021, the second a year later. Now there's a third challenger in the city's luxury market, and today NBN News was given a look inside.
There's a new kid on the block, the Honeysuckle block to be exact. 6 years after the plan was approved, Canberra property group Doma has opened the Little National Hotel on a site just metres from the harbour and close to the transport interchange. The first guests checking in today to a hotel described as affordable luxury.
This has everything you need and nothing you don't need. So the rooms are minimalistic, but they're high-end luxury.
They are compact, but use efficient planning with king-sized beds and with all the bells and whistles. The hotel offers more generous common areas such as a library for those needing to work, a large gym and bar open to the public, all with harbour and marina views. And for those needing more space, there are 12 larger apartment-style rooms. While on-site parking is a luxury of its own in this part of the city. Newcastle already has 2 5-star hotels, so is there demand for another high-end option? Well, so far, the signs are good.
By the end of the week, we're sitting at around 98% occupancy, which is huge for us.
The Crystal Brook Kingsley opened in 2021, the city's first 5-star hotel, closely followed by QT Newcastle just a year later. Now all 3 will be vying for business travellers and those keen for a Newcastle getaway or staycation.
We had Elton John and Pink recently, so lots happening throughout the city that'll drive a little bit of that leisure demand more across the weekend, but I would say during the week it will be predominantly corporate.
Jane Goldsmith, NBN News.
Cessnock High School is celebrating a boost to its academic results, credited to a University of Newcastle program. The school has been named the most improved in the Hunter for NAPLAN, while HSC results climbed by more than 50%. Cessnock High teachers have been using the uni's Quality Teaching Round program since 2020, which is designed to boost student attendance and engagement.
Mid-autumn warmth across the region continues. Above average temperatures again today and a couple of afternoon showers and storms there throughout the Hunter after maxing out around 27 to 28.
Next, tragedy on the M1 as a car goes the wrong way with deadly consequences.
Fallen cricket star Michael Slater arrested, accused of stalking and choking.
And a supplier blows the whistle on the big supermarkets.
Everyone loves the never-ending softness of 3-ply quilting. Quilting loves your bum.
Cover set or coverlet sets, like the Alden, just $119 for the queen size, plus bonus cushion. Featuring 5 zones of micro-pocket coil support, the Australian-made Sleepmaker Raphael Queen mattress in 4 peels for $19.99. Make a grand statement with the Australian-made Bellevue Extended 4-drawer Queen bed, and choose your stain and fabric to suit your style. More to inspire at Harvey Norman now.
Go! 3, 2, 1, go!
You are building your very own Lego go-kart. Then we'll get to race that go-kart.
It's Lego Go-Kart Go Time.
Yeah! Best friend of the show, Sophie Scanlon. Feeling confident. It will be Australia versus the world. The world!
I'm going to smite these young ones.
No way! Go! Go!
Lego Masters, Australia versus the world. Tonight, 7:30 on 9.
Affected batteries may overheat and catch fire. Even if you have checked before, please check again.
You can't be bored in Newcastle when you can go to Hunter Ice Skating Stadium.
Friday afternoon kids disco.
Friday night skate night.
And skate for hours in weekend super sessions.
It's awesome.
Google Hunter Ice Skating Stadium, Warners Bay.
If you're surrounded by stuff and you've had enough, you need electro-dry mini storage. Don't just save space, save money with Newcastle's best value storage. Compare at electrodrystore.com.au. For things big and small and short and tall, electro-dry mini storage. We're so confident we're Newcastle's best value storage. If you find it cheaper, we'll beat it by 20%. Electro-dry mini storage. Electro-dry mini storage.
Angie and Jim have taken up a new hobby, just for a bit of fun. But to get ahead, they've opened an IMB Bank term deposit. The security of a great rate means they actually can count their chickens before they hatch. IMB Bank, right by you.
You're watching NBN News. These are our top local stories. Members of a Hunter Valley family have managed to escape injury as their home was destroyed by fire at Greta. Multiple crews battled the intense blaze. Truck drivers and police have issued an urgent safety plea after a spate of fatal crashes in the New England and Northwest over the past 2 weeks. Port Macquarie Council is considering a new housing strategy that would see 16,000 homes built in the region to keep up with rapid population growth. Youth Week has begun in Coffs Harbour with skateboard design workshops and a free entry to a Sea Monsters exhibition. And a third 5-star hotel has opened in Newcastle, hoping to entice tourists and locals alike.
Former Australian Test cricketer Michael Slater is in custody tonight, charged with a slew of domestic violence offences. The 54-year-old was arrested on Queensland's Sunshine Coast and is facing 19 charges, including common assault and unlawful stalking. He is expected to apply for bail tomorrow. A 27-year-old man has been killed in a head-on crash. His car hit by another travelling on the wrong side of the road on the M1 at Wahroonga. Witnesses say the vehicle was heading south in the northbound lanes for more than 10 minutes before the collision.
In the dark. the other truckies.
There's a car coming towards on the wrong side of the road on high beam.
Darren Barker also saw it coming at him, his pregnant partner Laura in the passenger seat.
One car in lane one swerved and just avoided it. It then directed to us and ran us off the road.
Just minutes later, disaster. The Ford Territory crashing head-on into a truck and two other cars just north of the Wahroonga exit. A 27-year-old man killed while three others were injured, including the 96-year-old man driving the Territory.
He was non-coherent. I don't know how he held a licence, but I don't think he realised that he'd been in an accident or what he'd done.
The crash saw the M1 closed for hours on the first day of school holidays. Traffic backed up for kilometres. The 96-year-old remains here at Royal North Shore Hospital in a critical condition. Police now investigating how and where he found his way onto the wrong side of the road. In St Leonard's, Kate Creedon, NBN News.
Landslides have killed at least 18 people on Indonesia's Sulawesi Island, and a search continues for two still missing. Intense rain dislodged mud that barreled into 4 homes in 2 remote villages. It was difficult for emergency services to access the disaster zone, with downed communication lines, bad weather and unstable soil hampering their efforts.
At least a dozen people have died in Oman after being caught in flash flooding. Torrential rains have lashed large parts of the country. Local residents stepping up to help those left stranded by rising water. 5 people are still missing.
More than 250 people are suing MI5, accusing the British security agency of failing to take steps that could have prevented the Manchester Arena terror attack in 2017. Survivors and victims' families have joined the group action.
Vision has emerged of a car becoming airborne before crashing into a home in Southern California. The driver lost control as he was trying to make a turn. First responders say he only suffered minor injuries.
The bosses of our biggest supermarkets are bound for Canberra tonight, where they'll appear before a Senate committee. Today, unions, farmers and the consumer watchdog spoke about the price squeeze being felt across Australia. A whistleblower blaming the grocery giants.
Arriving on his own, Abdel Badura taking on 2 supermarket giants.
Blowing the whistle on the supermarket duopolies, price gouging and market power abuse is the biggest risk I have taken both personally and professionally.
Mr. Badura spoke out as the Senate examined supermarket pricing, calling on his experience working for suppliers dealing with the big grocers. They'll have their say tomorrow.
During this time, I've witnessed firsthand the tactics and practices Australia's supermarket duopoly, Coles and Woolworths, deploy to price gouge suppliers and ultimately customers.
These 2 days are going to be critical days in this inquiry, and ultimately the CEOs of Coles and Woolworths are going to need to explain.
A review of the Grocery Code of Conduct is already underway. Coles and Woolworths support making the voluntary code mandatory. The interim review already suggesting billions of dollars in fines if sustained price gouging is found.
Where a matter is brought to us that incorporates significant harm and particularly systemic harm occurring, then we take action.
This is one of 6 inquiries looking into the supermarkets. The majority of senators today say they support so-called divestiture powers that could force the big supermarkets to sell if they're found to be abusing market share.
And the biggest recent divestiture was the AT&T in the US. That's had a massive positive effect on jobs.
The Prime Minister is against the move, worried about the impact on competition, but tonight a willing grilling is awaiting Coles and Woolworths tomorrow. Charles Croucher, NBN News.
To finance and the escalating tension between Israel and Iran has global markets on edge as well. Chris Kohler has the details.
A heightening of the war in the Middle East is being seen all over the global marketplace. The price of gold, often seen as a safe haven during volatile times, remains near record highs. And with Iran producing about 3 million barrels of oil per day, the price of oil is also in focus. The Australian dollar fell to a 2-month low, sitting under 65 US cents, and the ASX fell close to 0.5%, with CBA the worst performer of the big banks.
Sport Time, Sophie Scanlon joins us now.
So if Nathan Cleary's injury was all the talk at Penrith today.
Well, he's getting close to returning from a hamstring strain, but will he play on Saturday? There's been reports of a setback. We catch up with his teammates next. Also ahead, why Ricky Stewart blew up at Titans coach Des Hasler, and Scotty Scheffler bags his second green jacket in 3 years.
Sweet shoes. Want them? Try the Google app for iPhone. Tap this, snap that. What a vibe. Can't name that song? Tap this, hum that. Right. Tap this, hover over that. We should circle back to that one.
Hear that? That's the sound of you winning. Because while you worked from home, sitting through 5 Zoom calls that really could have been an email, you also got Prosecco and chips, all without putting on pants. Thanks to this dedicated dasher. Claim your prize, for you have smashed
performance. This is AI Smoke, with our first AI smart face in an iron. It combined real swing data with artificial intelligence to learn real golfers' swing tendencies. So your swing helps players get distance, optimized launch, and tight dispersion. Now you'll be sweeter from every spot with the new AI Smoke irons from Callaway.
Very own Lego go-kart. Then we'll get to race that go-kart.
It's Lego go-kart go time.
Yeah! Best friend of the show, Sophie Long.
Feeling confident.
It will be Australia versus the world. The world!
I'm going to smite these young ones.
No way! Go! Go!
Lego Masters, Australia versus the world. Tonight, 7:30 on 9.
Half price. And Arnott's cream biscuits, $2 each, also half price. Specials across the store right now, only at IGA.
With a house frame made from TrueCore steel, your home is built to last.
The Panthers could be missing Nathan Cleary for another week after the star suffered a setback in his return from injury. Cleary's teammates remain tight-lipped on his chances of facing the Tigers, who pulled off a monumental upset over the Premiers last year.
It's the question every Panther...
It was last week or how long ago it was, but there was a little tiny setback.
The only thing the Panthers could confirm, Cleary is the ultimate professional when it comes to rehab.
Yeah, he's probably all heard, like, always last in the field, last in the gym. I think that's only doubled up when he's in rehab, so yeah, he's doubling up on his work. He's looking big. I don't know if you've seen him, but yeah, should be good for when he's back.
Jerome Luai is also in doubt with
Kalen Ponga was a notable absence as he rests a hip injury suffered in last Thursday's loss to the Roosters. The Raiders have moved into the top 4 after beating the Titans 21-20 in a golden point. But Canberra coach Ricky Stewart was left fuming when told Des Hasler took aim at the referees.
Came up playing St Mary's and that, and I've known him for years, so yeah, I feel for Tito. Like, this is his home club and I know he wants to stay here.
Emma Lawrence, NBN News.
Roosters. The Raiders have moved into the top 4 after beating the Titans 21-20 in a golden point. But Canberra coach
if he's critical of the 6 agains and the penalties, he's on another planet.
It was a costly match with Jaden Campbell and Zach Hoskins set for to Aston Villa. It means Manchester City is now on top with 6 matches remaining. Villa, meanwhile, has moved a win clear. Scotty Scheffler has confirmed his status as the world's top golfer, winning his 2nd Masters title. While
fell away, Cameron Smith finished the best at -1 on a frustrating day. Scotty Scheffler's 4-shot win here at Augusta makes him the 18th player day. Scotty Scheffler's 4-shot win here at Augusta makes him the 18th player in the history of the Masters to win this tournament more than once, and soon there'll be extra reason to celebrate. His first child is due in weeks. His wife Meredith not at Augusta for the win.
Coming home. I'll be home as quick as I can. Yeah, I love you and I'm coming home.
With an extra item to add to the wardrobe, an Augusta national, Jonathan Kersley, NBN News.
Former Opal star Liz Cambridge has been ejected from a match in China after elbowing an opponent and slapping and shoving another. Her demands for a video review were ignored, so then it was the referee's turn to cop it. The show wasn't over there, with 32-year-old Cambridge finishing with a skip along the baseline and a parting curtsy as she left the court. Next, ticket booked. Central Coast star among the first Aussie track and field athletes named for the Paris Olympics. And Ethan Ewing off to a flying start at the Margaret River Pro.
They sorted my electric car here, just in time for school pickup. Better go.
We got a tyre change here.
Dad forgot his tools.
They got my van back on the road with a new battery. Before, everything got a bit, melty.
The NRMA is Australia's largest roadside assistance network.
I locked my keys in the...
There you go.
Thanks.
Get you moving every time, no matter where you are. This is roadside assistance.
You are building your very own Lego go-kart. Then we'll get to race that go-kart.
It's Lego go-kart go time.
Yeah! Best friend of the show, Sophie Scanlon.
Feeling confident.
It will be Australia versus the world. The world!
I'm going to smite these young ones.
No way. Go, go.
Lego Masters, Australia versus the world. Tonight, 7:30 on 9.
Special? Are these crispy, fluffy, perfectly seasoned McCain Pop-style chips nothing special, Simon? Because it all feels pretty special to me. Hey! It was Simon. McCain, there's something special about nothing special.
Kickstart your weight loss goals with new Jumpstart Pro by Light and Easy.
Jumpstart Pro is such a game changer for losing weight. I can have one shake for breakfast and then it's mixed up for the rest of the day with really healthy food for lunch and dinner.
Thinking of a caravan and camping holiday? That perfect spot and having fun surrounded by nature. Find everything you need to make it happen at the Caravan Camping Holiday Super Show, April 16 to 21 at Rosehill Racecourse.
Looking for a contemporary home at an affordable price? Discover unbeatable value at Domain Homes. Find out how you can save 10% and price your new home today at domainhomes.com.au.
Thinking of separating? Having trouble dividing assets?
To achieve the property settlement you deserve, plus parenting arrangements, changing wills, super, trusts and more.
Turn to Turnbull Hill Lawyers. Good people to turn to.
Australian-made furniture, made for you at Harvey Norman. Have it designed to suit your space. Australian-made lounges built for family life with options in fabric, leather, size and shape. Australian-made dining furniture created to fit your space. Matching buffets, entertainment units and more to complete your look. Australian-made quality and comfort at competitive prices with a range of options available. Support local manufacturers and choose Australian-made furniture. Made for you. Now at Harvey Norman.
Go! This report brought to you by Harvey Norman. Shop in store or at hn.com.au.
Champion high jumper Nicola Olischlagers has booked her spot in the Paris Olympics. The Central Coast athlete among the first 14 track and field stars named in the Australian team. It will be Olischlagers' second games. She won silver in Tokyo in 2020. Sally Fitzgibbons has saved her place on surfing's world tour, at least for now, after starring at Margaret River this afternoon. Elimination would have seen her miss the mid-season cut. Instead, she's into the round of 16. There are no such worries for fellow Aussie Ethan Ewing, with the men's world number 2 posting the highest score of the day, a 9.5. Meanwhile, Ryan Callanan fell agonisingly short of winning his opening heat. The Merewether board rider secured an early lead and stayed in front until the final 5 minutes, when his two opponents both bagged rides that put them ahead. Callanan, though, fought back with a wave in the dying moments. It was enough to put him in second. The North Stars are on top of their Australian Ice Hockey League conference thanks to 3 wins on the trot, 2 of those on the weekend. Newcastle having no trouble finding the back of the net.
They opened the weekend with a demolition of the Rhinos on the Central Coast.
Centering pass, shot on net, turned aside, rebound. It's a goal.
The North Stars building momentum each period to be up 8-0 heading into the third.
Centering pass, score!
And the scoring spree continued, Newcastle eventually winning by 13. 7 of those came from Wahib Daj alone. The North Stars backed up on Sunday afternoon hosting the Ice Dogs, the Sydney Siders proving tougher to crack. Rookie Malik West slotted in his first Australian League goal.
Right space, right time, point blank range, bar down.
To see Newcastle lead 2-0 at the end of the first. Things began to heat up in the second, then finally in the third, the home side unleashed. The North Stars backed up on Sunday afternoon hosting the Ice.
Are we still up for ice skating, or is that on hold? For afternoon tea. Oh, that's great.
ANZ Falcon technology learns from thousands of data points on your transactions, so it can help spot the difference between you and fraud. Fraud protection. Now it's personal.
At Officeworks, we won't be beaten on price. Get a 500-sheet ream of Reflex A4 copy paper for $8.75 or an electric sit-stand desk for $1,198. Make bigger things happen at Officeworks.
Where to from here? Will your life ever be the same? Are you getting what's fair, not just what's offered? Talk to Slater and Gordon, and we'll take it from here.
2 all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
The Big Mac is the original mouthful. A one-of-a-kind flavour that now comes in 3 sizes.
Claire stayed in this amazing hotel and paid this much for her room. Jess found the same hotel in Trivago and paid a lot less. Trivago compares hotel offers from different booking sites so you can easily find your deal. Hotel Trivago.
Welcome to your town's newest prize home, 143 Tahiti. This is the ultimate coastal home with its sweeping curves and sophisticated colour palette. Nestled in sought-after Palm Beach, it offers easy access to beaches and vibrant cafes, all within walking distance. First prize is over $3.1 million. Go to yourtownprizehomes.com.au. By buying a ticket, you help your town power Kids Helpline.
If you know your product, you can sell with confidence. You can tailor a solution for just about everybody's scenario.
Tiles for your walls, tiles for your floors, save more at Tile Warehouse.
The world of musicals in concert is back with a brand new production, with an international cast performing all your favourite songs from all the hit musicals in one concert event. The world of musicals in concert is simply not to be missed. Book now.
It's hard to tell pain, but I didn't want to do things. You know, when you've got 3 kids, you want to get out and about all the time. So having no pain, that's vital. For me, the Good Feet store made a big difference.
See for yourself with a free personalised arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
No shortage of mid-April warmth for our region and a little bit of a storm flaring up this afternoon across the valley, tracking from Merriwa along the Golden Highway into the valley, and we may see a couple more cells flare up again tomorrow. Details in a moment. Let's head to the pass. Love it. Beautiful part of the world. Mark always takes a fabulous shot almost every single day of his beautiful area at Byron Bay and surrounds. Lovely colours off the alto cumulus cloud the past 24 hours. Wet weather hard to come by around the nation at the moment, but there is this little disturbance. This is a pulse of moisture from ex-tropical cyclone Olga that has tracked right across the country, running into a trough line. Combined with all of the warmth, the trough and moisture, you put the three together and you've got a little bit of activity, and that's what's been happening. Isolated showers and storm cells, a little bit of lightning, a little bit of rumble happening underneath that cloud cover. That's our southerly on approach. That'll be coming through and affecting us later in the week, dropping temperatures slightly. But again, tomorrow, that pulse of moisture combined with the warmth and that little trough line, again, we've got a little bit of a disturbance, mostly over the mid-north coast. So we're right on the southern edge of it. So particularly towards the Barringtons, the northern catchments, we may see some showers and storms, and maybe across the valley floor as well. Otherwise, around the nation, it's really hard to come by as far as wet weather is concerned. Comfortable in Sydney, cooler throughout the southeast to Adelaide. The Alice is warm along with Brisbane, and the hot, dry drought conditions continue in the west for Perth. We hit 27s, 28s throughout today, and we had that shower and storm there flare up throughout the Upper Hunter in the afternoon. Taking a look at the winds, we've also had these light southerly winds around to the east each day. But just drawing in over our coast. Another beautiful looking start, some mist, some fog about in the valley, but there's that disturbance I'm talking about. So, you know, all the ingredients that are there just for that isolated random shower or storm to flare up like we had today. Otherwise, along the coast, central coast, looking pretty good. 25s, 26s, very comfortable conditions. Mid-20s the theme right across Lake Macquarie, Newcastle to Port Stephens. Lovely conditions overall. 26s, 27s, a little bit warmer there right throughout the valley throughout tomorrow, but overall it's a lovely little purple patch we're moving through at the moment as far as our weather is concerned. There's also a little bit of swell for another day. There seems to be just a little bit of something to play on every single day at the moment. The sun to rise at 6:15 and down at 5:31. The tide is dropping in the morning, getting there at 9:20 tomorrow morning, and then coming back in throughout the lunchtime hour. Again, over a metre of swell, almost 1.5 metres east-southeast direction, and the wave period at 12 seconds. So that southerly comes through, and a greater chance of seeing increased shower activity and maybe some storms embedded in it as we move through the week. Then by the time we hit the weekend, a little bit potentially left over into Saturday, then fining up as we move into next week. So just a little bit of cloud. It's a case of dodge the shower and storm, but there will be a little bit of activity dancing around our region in the coming days as we go to the surf and check it for another day. Well, our beaches have been glorious. They've been nice, inviting, plenty of sand. The water is starting to clean up as well. The mornings have been best for cleaner conditions, and then the onshore is bumping it up a little bit in the afternoon, but small 2 to 3 footers on the way. It was expected to be a warm autumn, and so far it is.
Delivering. Thank you, Gav. That's NBN News for this Monday. A current affair is up next.
So thanks for your company from all of the NBN team.
Good night.
Good night.
Hello, I'm Leila McKinnon. Welcome to A Current Affair. Coming up, exclusive new information. Police say the Westfield Mall stabber stalked other shopping centres and Googled how to kill before his deadly attack at Bondi Junction. Crime editor Simon Boda is standing by. But first, he once famously joked, "I fought the law and Bruce won." But today, Bruce Lehrmann was the loser, a judge deciding he wasn't defamed when he was called a rapist, because he is one. The case is closed, but is the door still open for Brittany Higgins to get justice?
Bad boy Bruce, the rapist. Former political staffer Bruce Lehrmann leaving court with the rapist tag forever on his back.
Mr. Lerman raped Miss Higgins.
The judge has called you a rapist today, Mr. Lerman. What do you have to say to that?
Having escaped the lion's den, Mr. Lerman made the mistake of coming back for his hat.
Justice Michael Lee handing down a scathing judgment in the New South Wales Federal Court.
Mr. Lerman was hell-bent on having sex with a woman he A, found sexually attractive, B, had been mutually passionately kissing and touching, C, had encouraged to drink, and D, knew had reduced inhibitions because she was very drunk. In his pursuit of gratification, he did not care one way or the other whether Miss Higgins understood or agreed to what was going on.
We've heard some wild allegations in court, Mr. Lerman. What's the truth?
Mr. Lerman had arrived at court hoping for victory and a huge payout. Instead, he made a shameful departure, what was left of his reputation obliterated in a 2-hour judgment.
That at the time sexual intercourse took place, Mr. Lerman's state of mind was such that he was indifferent to Miss Higgins' consent and just went ahead willy-nilly.
So Bruce Lerman has been labelled a rapist. What next? Well, Justice Michael Lee made it clear that this is not any kind of criminal conviction. A civil court has a much lower burden of proof, the balance of probabilities, rather than beyond a reasonable doubt needed in a criminal court. The only punishment for Bruce Lerman now, an almighty hit to his reputation.
And likely his wallet with monster legal bills.
Pretty humiliating day for you, would you say, Mr. Lerman?
As a result of the inconclusive criminal trial, Mr. Lerman remains a man who has not been convicted of any offence, but he has now been found by the civil standard of proof to have engaged in a great wrong. It follows Miss Higgins has been proven to be a victim of of sexual assault.
Brittany Higgins and Bruce Lerman, and that night in Canberra 5 years ago became a blockbuster defamation trial, with lives torn apart, careers torpedoed, and millions down the drain.
That nothing good happens after 2 o'clock in the morning, and observing it reflected the wisdom that drink in the wee hours often occasion trouble. Here too there was a combination of drink in the wee hours, and it led on any view of it to trouble.
It was a drama that from the start played out more in the court of public opinion than any actual courtroom.
Miss Brittany Higgins.
Lerman was charged with rape, then came Lisa's Logie's disaster.
This interview and this story is by far the most important work I have ever done. And
the case was sensationally delayed by that Logie's speech on the eve of the trial, which was eventually abandoned.
If she had thought matters through as an experienced journalist and less as a champion for Miss Higgins, she ought to have known the speech was fraught with danger and recognised that lauding a complainant on the evening of a rape trial in the terms she did would be apt to undermine the due administration of justice.
I feel glad for the women in Australia today.
Brittany received a controversial Commonwealth Compo payout of almost $2.5 million. She jetted off to the south of France, and Bruce, who couldn't let it go, stormed into the federal court, suing Channel 10 over the Project Higgins exclusive.
I couldn't get him off of me. At this point, I started crying.
Bruce Lerman wasn't named in the interview as the perpetrator, but maintained his innocence and claimed his reputation was ruined.
It's fanciful, a somewhat lubricated male staffer accompanied by a woman he found attractive who had just been pashing in a nightclub despite having a girlfriend would then be interested after coming back to a private place very late to just say cheerio and then soberly proceed to note up briefs for a question time that was not to occur for 1.5 weeks.
The judge just said you raped Brittany Higgins, Mr. Lerman, did you? What do you have to say about that?
Bruce hit back with his own primetime Channel 7 tell-all, which came with a big bonus: confidential documents, texts and audio from his criminal rape trial leaked to the 7 network and aired on their Spotlight special.
I am satisfied that Mr. Lerman made or caused to be made false representations as to the topic of providing access to documents the subject of a subsisting legal obligation to the 7 network.
The judge described both Brittany and Bruce as unreliable historians.
It would be fair to describe her as a complex and in several respects unsatisfactory witness.
I brought the law and Bruce won.
Not today, Bruce. While Brittany's untruths were excused due to trauma, Lerman was branded a liar.
To remark that Mr. Lemon is a poor witness is an exercise in understatement.
Even if he won, his compensation would have been minimal.
The appropriate and rational relationship between the actual harm sustained and the damages awarded would lead to total damages of $20,000.
What will you be doing next? Where does your life take you next, Mr. Larriman?
Thompson Gear defamation lawyer Justin Quill gave him this career tip.
My advice to Bruce, given he's studying law, would probably be to take up another course at university.
Bruce, come on, it's been 5 years. You've got to say something. The judge has had a lot to say about you today.
Now, there are so many questions about the Bondi Junction attack and many will never be answered, but police are now beginning to understand what perhaps motivated the attacker. And crime editor Simon Boda joins me now. New information, Simon, that this attack was probably more planned than anybody thought.
Well, I think initially everybody thought this was a man suffering from schizophrenia whose mind has snapped, words in his head or whatever. But I've learned today that police, the investigators from Strikes Force Macaulay, have been able to download data from his phone, which has indicated that he had a fixation with killings. He also had a fixation with knives. So that in itself tells us that it wasn't a spur-of-the-moment attack. Clearly, beforehand, he was thinking about killings, and that's terribly frightening.
So he was searching things about killing on his phone?
That's what I understand, yes.
Was Bondi Junction his only target?
Well, another interesting aspect that's come to light, and that is that I've been told that he's been spotted out at Westfield at Penrith in Sydney's western suburbs and Westfield at Parramatta just in the recent weeks. So what was going through his mind? Was he checking out other locations that he may have decided were appropriate for what he wanted to do? Or was he just visiting them? Who knows? But we do know that it's all happened in a very quick succession in just the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, that is incredibly frightening. And most of his victims were women. Today, Joel Couchy's father said that he wanted a girlfriend, that he had no social skills, he was frustrated. But what have police found? Is there any evidence about him going after young women?
No specific evidence. As you rightly said, his father said he was wanting a girlfriend and had no social skills. I think when you start to examine what we saw in Bondi Junction at the Westfield, 5 women, 1 man, and just the way he attacked those women. For instance, the first woman was lining up at a queue to buy coffee, we believe. He's come up behind her and stabbed her in the back. He stabbed another woman in the back. So he's not even looking at them.
Did he say anything?
No, not a word. And that makes it even more chilling. There was no word said at any stage through that ordeal that happened inside the shopping centre.
What about the storage unit? Is that a place where he was sleeping rough, or did police find any evidence there?
Leila, I've been told it's only a metre by a metre, so he wasn't sleeping there. He had belongings there, personal belongings. Somewhat disturbingly, they found a number of notes and drawings. Now, I'm told they're just ramblings. They are not a manifesto, as if you might expect someone who's planning to carry out an attack of this nature. But obviously, they also found knives inside the storage centre. They also found the packaging for the knife, the hunting knife, that he carried to Bondi Junction in his backpack.
Now, we've seen the shocking clips on social media, and I know police have called for more, but they obviously have the CCTV from all the stores. What have they said about what's on that?
Well, you know, when you think about what we have seen, we've seen the guy on the bollard on the top of the escalators, we've seen Couchy running along with the knife, you know, scaring people. What I'm told is the actual CCTV from inside Westfield is absolutely chilling. It is so horrendous that my understanding is the police are really hoping that it never, ever, ever sees the light of day in the public. Obviously, it'll be part of the coronial inquest. It'll have to form part of the investigation. But it is so horrendous and so cold and callous, the police, they just don't want it to ever be publicly released.
Simon, 6 dead and so many injured. But I think that everyone's desperate to hear is that the baby girl, the 9-month-old who was stabbed, is going to be okay. What's the latest that you've heard there? Yes, well, I think the world has been waiting. This little girl has lost her mother, Ash Good, 38-year-old first-time mum. And the little girl was very badly injured in the attack. She's been in intensive care ever since.
But I'm told today that she's likely to move into a ward tonight or tomorrow, which is terrific news, and that there are no lasting injuries. So this little girl, even though she's going to grow up without a mum, isn't going to have any lasting injuries as a result of being stabbed.
That's a little sliver of hope tonight, and we're thinking of everyone affected. Thank you, Simon.
Thank you, Leila.
There are more flowers than people at Westfield Bondi Junction right now. It was once one of Sydney's busiest shopping centres, but it's now deserted as the company tries to come to terms with the horror. And it might never be the same again, with calls for armed guards and metal detectors at the places we used to feel safe.
It's quiet. Shops closed, streets taped off, the mall a shrine, and locals here seem lost.
I just want to get out from here, sorry.
There's an eerie aftermath at Bondi Junction 2 days after the terror and trauma.
Oh, terrible. I couldn't even get off the couch yesterday. I was really sad.
You know, this is our local shopping centre and we're here most Saturdays. It's a big tragedy.
6 innocent people are being mourned. Ash, Dawn, Pikria, Jade, Yishwan and security guard Faraz. 7 more are still being treated in hospitals, including Ash's 9-month-old baby.
There was my baby a few hours beforehand, and obviously just can't stop thinking about it. And we were in Lululemon early in the morning, and I know stuff happened just outside, so I think of the mum and the baby all the time.
A new mum herself, Karen, like so many, can't fathom what happened.
I was walking up to the junction at the time everything started happening, and then I got the message that a baby had been found. I just started to shake and turned around, took her home and locked the doors. I'm still shopping.
So that's you?
Yeah.
Nan was inside running her business before having to run for her life.
It was horrific, when it happened. I don't know what's going on, people just run around panicking, And after 2 minutes, I just heard people screaming he got a gun, he got a knife, and then it's oh shit. And I was so scary, the lady next to me, she was crying.
Her business and her belongings were the least of her worries then. But today, she's looking for ways to move forward.
What are you hoping to do today?
We try to get in to our stock and the shop. We still have all my bag, money, and the key house and everything there, tablet and everything there.
Her business is in limbo along with 300 others. As we all question what can be done to prevent something like this ever happening again.
Do you think security guards should be armed now?
Yeah. The Westfield should do something about security, on that time that we run away.
It's a place where people should feel safe.
Speaking for the first time this afternoon, the Westfield boss, Centre Group CEO Elliot Rousseau.
Unfortunately, a member of our team, a security guard, lost his life in trying to protect members of the public. Another member of our security team was injured and remains in hospital. We are undertaking a review of what occurred, why it occurred, how it occurred, and what lessons can be learnt for a whole range of operational settings, including security.
Amelia from a nearby childcare centre says only 2 children showed up for class today. Normally, it would be 20. She hopes soon the sadness and fear will fade.
It's safe to come, we're open, we're here, we have the resources available if people need them.
It could have been so much worse, if not for the bravery of bystanders who became heroes, and Inspector Amy Scott, who stopped evil in its tracks. To pay tribute to those lost, Bondi Junction is awash with flowers. Behind them, the towering Westfield Mall, no longer a 7-storey crime scene, but still closed.
I guess this is part of the way that I'm going to deal with it, is just show my respects.
Surprisingly emotional walking up. I didn't think I'd be as emotional.
We've seen it before at the worst of times. The death of Princess Diana, the 9/11 terror attacks, the Lindt Cafe siege. Shocking events that affect us all. What do you do? What can you say at times like these?
I guess a lot of people will grieve and deal with this kind of event in their own way, but I feel for the community, the families, and really the staff, everyone affected.
It'll take us all a while to process this as a community, but I think in the midst of an event that makes us feel helpless in the face of such insanity, it also gives us hope.
And it's the simple things that will help get us through.
All the mums I know are giving their babies extra hugs.
Yeah, it's an attack that has left us all grieving and with just that little bit more fear in our lives. But it's worth reflecting that the worst of times really does bring out the best in people. Up next, mourning a monster who was also their son. The devastated parents of the Bondi killer speak out.
I love him dearly. And, you know, how do you love a monster?
3, 2, 1, go!
You are building your very own Lego go-kart. Then we'll get to race that go-kart.
It's Lego go-kart go time.
Yeah! Best friend of the show, Sophie Scanlon.
Feeling confident.
It will be Australia versus the world. The world!
I'm going to smite these young ones.
No way.
Go, go!
Lego Masters, Australia versus the world. Tonight, 7:30 on 9.
You never go cold on me. You are the sunshine to my beach. Like the moon and the ice cream, we're better together, together. Girl, you're so bold, it's usual. You never go cold and you never go, you never go. You never go cold on me. You are the sunshine to my beach. Like the moon and the
Holiday in every way with Royal Caribbean. Today's fresh food people.
I love a sunburnt country. A land of sweeping plains, of ragged mountain ranges, of drought and flooding rains. When the lucky country isn't so lucky.
Lucky you're with Amy.
So, expanding the warehouse.
Yeah, stock is moving.
Your numbers are looking good.
If decisions feel wild, our business experts can help you wrangle them.
Let's do it.
NAB, more than money.
Extreme hair damage versus 3-minute miracle. Who's going to win? This is Pantene Miracles, and this is how it repairs 3 months of damage in 3 minutes. My hair wins, thanks to the Pro V formula with collagen from new Pantene Miracles.
Save with the Super Tech Frenzy on now at Super Cheap Auto. Get this Sony digital media player, $349 for club members. And 5 litres of Penrite HPR 30 engine oil, half price. Limit 2 per customer. Make it super. Super Cheap Auto.
At Woolworths, we can help you spend less on family dinners. With great weekly specials like marinated kebab varieties with RSPCA approved chicken, now $1 each, save 40 cents. That's today's fresh food people.
Domain Rutherford massive closing down sale. Save big on furniture, bedding, TVs, home appliances and more. Prices slashed on all discontinued and ex-display stock. Huge one-off bargains. It all has to go. Don't miss out. Domain Rutherford massive closing down sale. Limited time only.
Water and electricity don't mix. I don't know exactly where this EV is going to wind up.
Outlander plug-in hybrid EV. Australia ready.
That went well. Domain Rutherford massive closing down sale. Save big on furniture, bedding, TVs, home appliances and more. Prices slashed on all discontinued and next display stock. Huge one-off bargains. It all has to go. Don't miss out. Domain Rutherford massive closing down sale. Limited time only.
At Harvey Norman, great deals on HP laptops powered by AMD Ryzen. Get this HP 15S for all the speed you need for work or school. Now $798 save $100. Or step up to a powerful AMD Ryzen 7 processor for only $898. Hot price. Get the latest AMD Ryzen 7000 series processor in this impressive HP Pavilion with 16 gig RAM. Now $1198 save $300. At Harvey Norman now.
To the world, he's a monster. To them, he's their son. So how do you mourn a loved one who's killed 6 people and wounded many more in a despicable attack?
I love my son. I'd give my life for him. I love him dearly. And, how do you love a monster?
Their son was sick, his crimes sickening, a situation no parent could ever really comprehend.
This is a parent's absolute nightmare when they have a child with mental illness, that something like this would happen. And my heart goes out to the people our son has hurt. If he was in his right mind, he would be absolutely devastated at what he has done.
Andrew and Michelle Couchy addressing a large media contingent amongst the roses growing outside their humble Toowoomba home west of Brisbane.
No one's blaming you, just so you know. People are just wanting to know, to understand.
But I mean,
do you know all the other
he's my son.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, he's my son, and I'm loving a monster. To you, he's a monster. To me, he was a very sick boy. Believe me, he was a very sick boy.
It was here that Bondi mass murderer Joel Couchy lived until he was 35. Diagnosed with schizophrenia aged 17, his devoted parents supported him and helped him study for a university degree. A few years ago, he was weaned off medication under the careful watch of his doctors.
She did it over a period of a number of years, very carefully giving him the warnings of what might happen.
Both parents had concerns that Joel Couchy's mental health was declining, but struggled to know what to do when he left town and became hard to contact.
He went to Brisbane, so he wasn't with his doctor anymore. And so there's a condition with a mental illness called something like agnostosia, where the brain is damaged and it doesn't tell you you're sick. So if you don't know you're sick, why would you take medication?
Did anyone let him down, do you think?
No, he let himself down. Because look, he was taking on medication because he was doing so well, but then he just took off to Brisbane, and I went down there and I spent a day every now and again with him and did everything I can, but then he took off to Sydney.
On a visit home last year, Joel Couchy was found carrying 5 large US Army combat knives in his bag, which Dad Andrew confiscated for safekeeping, causing his son to become extremely upset. Joel Couchy eventually called Toowoomba Police to lodge a complaint against his father.
I said, look, Joel, you're welcome to stay in my place, but you're not going to have these knives here. I took them off him and it was hell, it was really hell.
What did he say?
Oh, he went mental, of course. He just really exploded.
Despite that, they never imagined their boy could be capable of the stabbing frenzy that played out at Westfield Bondi Junction on Saturday, killing 6 people, most of them women. His dad has a possible theory on why.
Because he wanted a girlfriend, and he's got no social skills, and he was frustrated out of his brain.
Andrew and Michelle Couchy hold no blame towards Police Inspector Amy Scott for shooting their son dead and hope she's coping all right.
I'm not blaming the police in Toowoomba or the police in New South Wales, okay? But the whole idea of mental illness, we have to step up our thinking about what they can do, how they can do it, and what can be, done about it.
As they now grieve their own family member, along with the lives he ripped apart.
Love them with everything you've got, because if that doesn't help them, in my opinion, only the law can help.
So many people impacted by this tragedy and the torment of these parents grieving their son, who they never could have imagined would take away so many lives. So tragic. Coming up on A Current Affair, where's the 40 million, Marley? The spruiker who promised big but didn't deliver.
Some people withdrew their whole super and gave it this guy.
Get an instant flawless glow with Maybelline Instant Perfector 4-in-1 Glow Foundation. $17.49 at Chemist Warehouse. It primes, conceals, highlights and contours for an instant glow. Live, look, feel fabulous at Chemist Warehouse.
And you have one clear way to reduce your risk.
Try Hungry Jack's new Bourbon Street Whopper with crispy onion rings and bourbon barbecue sauce. Or fall in love with Bourbon Street Jack's Fried Chicken. New Bourbon Street Jack's Fried Chicken and Whopper. The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
Home, grown, fields, sown. Up north, south, east, out west. Fresh Aussie fruit and veg. The best. Picking Australian fruit and veg first. That's today's fresh food people.
Perfect Italiano is perfect for that. And Perfect Italiano is perfect for that. Not so good for that. But for mouth-watering pizza every time, Perfect Italiano is perfect for that.
Well, girls and boys, it's been another very exciting day for our friend Big Dog. Lots of adventure and fun for everyone. But now it's time for Big Dog to say goodnight. Good night, Big Dog. Good night, girls and boys. Sweet dreams.
Tomorrow night, we smell a rat.
You gotta know when to hold them. See you on the women's side. Know when to fold them. Know when to walk away.
You don't know you've been ripped off.
Know when to run.
Until it's too late.
The dealing's done. But where's the 40 million?
Some people withdrew their whole super and gave it this guy.
That is tomorrow, and that's our program for this evening. I'm Leila McKinnon. Thank you for your company. Have a great evening.